Hey everybody, Jeremy here. Today I'm going to be trying out the Selah water bottle. Now this has been making its rounds on social media. It's a water bottle that uses flavored pods to give your water a little extra boost. And some people are saying that this can be a good competitor to Cirkul and what they're doing with flavored water. So we are going to check that out. I'm going to show you how this works. I'm going to show how well it works. I'm going to try a couple of flavors and just kind of get a feel for it and let you know what my final thoughts are about this water bottle. Now first, I do have to say thank you very much to Selah for sending me this as well as 10 of their flavor pods to try out, which by the way, let's take a look at some of them right now. So first up, we've got some electrolyte infused flavors. This first one is a watermelon sport flavor. The next one is another electrolyte boosted flavor, and this one is going to be orange sport. We also got peached iced tea. This one is vitamin enhanced peach iced tea. This is another vitamin enhanced flavor for fruit punch. Another vitamin enhanced flavor, strawberry lemonade. Another vitamin enhanced flavor, this one is watermelon. We've got an energy blast one. So this one is berry blast energy. This is a caffeine flavor pod right here in the berry blast flavor. And then the last vitamin enhanced flavor is this apple one here for crisp green apple. And then the final two are for pineapple. This is unsweetened pineapple. And then this one is the unsweetened lemon flavor. And one thing Selah does say is that all of these includes 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 artificial flavors, 0 artificial colorings, and 0 artificial sweeteners. So if that's something that you look forward to in your drinks, then Selah definitely has you covered on that front. Now, when I first saw this bottle, the first thing I thought of was, man, this thing looks like it was conceived and designed by an engineer. There's these mechanical bits in it that makes this the most mechanically inclined water bottle I have ever seen. So first, let me show you. This is the top here that you just screw off like this. You see, it's on a hinge, so you can't lose it. It's stuck there on the hinge. And then even on this part where you take off the top, it's also on a hinge. So it got this dual hinge design for both the part where you sip out of and for the lid itself. Now looking down inside of the bottle, you see that it's extremely thin down there. So if you want to clean it out, you're definitely going to need some type of brush so you can get down in there. And these two chambers are where these flavor pods are going to go. And that brings me to the other mechanical nature of this bottle. Trust me, this is something that you probably have not seen before. All right, so this is how it works. On both sides, you have these doors, and you have to have a pod inside of each of these chambers. So you just open it up from this side, and the first thing that you see here is this little mechanism right here that goes down and up like this. So the first thing that you got to do is make sure that this lever is pulled all the way down to the bottom. Then you have to take this part here and just kind of flick it out so that it's out of the way, and then grab your first pod that you want to use. Starting out, I think I'm going to use the fruit punch. So that's what the pod looks like, and you see at the bottom it just sort of hollowed out right there. There's also an arrow on here that points up, and that tells you the direction that you have to put this pod inside of the bottle so that you can do it correctly. So first thing I'm going to do is just peel off the little lid on it. Let's get this installed. First thing you do is open up this door. This little part here they call the pod keeper, and you have to just bring this down. Then you take the pod with the arrow facing up and you insert it inside of here, and the little hollow part is just going to fit on this rod piece here. The pod keeper is supposed to go underneath the pod, so if I just try to close it like that, you see like it's not quite fitting. So I'm going to have to move this up a little bit more. There we go. And now it's nicely secured inside of there. And now I just take this and push it up until I can feel some resistance. And you can probably already see there's a little bit of flavor already in there. And then I just simply close the door. And now I move on to the very next side. Now I'm going to put in some crisp green apple on the other side. Crisp green apple does smell pretty good, I gotta tell you. All right, so the same thing with this. Gotta make sure that this lever is all the way down. Make sure that this is out of the way. Put this inside, arrow side up. Push this up just a little bit so that that could fit right there. And then move this up. Feel a little bit of resistance, that's good enough. Close the door, and now I can fill this with water. And I'm just gonna fill this entire thing with water here. Close this up. And I already got a little bit of the flavor inside of the water already from pushing up the rod too much. Now, they also say that you should prime these before your first sip, and that's where these little levers right here come in. So when you press it up once, when you first get a new pod, it primes it. But then when you flip it up another time, it gives you some lighter flavor. And when you flick it a couple of times, it gives you a more bold flavor. Basically, the more times you flip it, the more flavor that you're going to get. And they say that each pod can give you up to 12 servings of light flavor or 6 servings of heavy flavor. All right, so let me try, I'm gonna try this fruit punch first. I'm gonna flip it once to prime it and then flip it twice for the lesser amount of flavor. But it's probably gonna be a little bit more because like I said, there was already some in there to begin with. So let's try it. The first go around was a sort of a light-ish fruit punch flavor. So let me go ahead and give it another bump. Try it now. Actually, make sure that it's nice and circulated. Let me give it a little bit of a shake here. And the flavors don't have any colors, you know, so it's not like green is going to be for green apple or red is going to be for fruit punch. But it's a kind of a weird sort of design because you see how this top, when I drink it, it's not falling down, but at the same time, it's kind of hitting me right there in the center of my brow. So I feel like I need to turn it either left or right. And then it's just sort of hanging out by my ear. Yep, it's definitely a bolder flavor. It doesn't taste exactly like Hawaiian punch that you would get from the store or anything like that, but it's pretty good. A little bit of an aftertaste. Let's try using the green apple to give that a little bit of a boost too. So let me flip it once to prime it, flip it twice for a little bit more green apple. Give it a shaky shake. I don't know if shaking it is necessary. I just, in my mind, I'm thinking that's what you have to do to dispense the flavors evenly, but let's try it. Little hint of the green apple. Let me give it another little boost. You kind of got to be careful because one of the big differences between this and Cirkul is when you're drinking from the Cirkul sips, you're only getting flavor that's basically the water that you have coming into your mouth. So with every sip, you're getting flavor. The rest of the water is completely unaffected. But with this, every time you flip up these switches, it puts more flavor into the water. So if you go a little bit too far and you don't like the flavor that you're getting, there's nothing you can do to get rid of it except for pouring the water out, putting more water in, and just trying your combination one more time. It definitely tastes like the type of drink that's not filled with regular bad sugar. It doesn't taste like the juice that you would get off the store shelves or anything like that. It still imparts the flavor of fruit punch or the flavor of green apple, but you know, it just kind of has that a little bit better for you kind of a taste to it. This is vitamin infused, and I am kind of getting a hint of things that taste like vitamins, some type of vitamin water, but it is pretty good, and I can definitely see myself drinking more of this. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. So that's pretty much the gist of it. So what I'm going to do is just continue drinking this and adding more water, trying more flavor, less flavors, all that stuff, incorporate it into my everyday routine. And then I'm going to come back and give you my final thoughts about this. And now for the car cup holder test. So this is just a standard cup holder and does not fit inside of my cup holders inside of this. That's unfortunate that it does not fit. So you just have to rest in the seat or rest somewhere else. So let me give you my final thoughts about the Selah water bottle. Now, from a design aspect, I personally dig it because, like I said, this seems like something that was designed and created by engineers. So I like it, but I do think that it could be a potential downside because of different failure points that it's subject to. So just say, for example, if something were to happen to this little mechanism right here that you need to always be there and work properly. If something were to happen with this part, then that means that you wouldn't be able to load any of the flavor pods. And if you can't load 2 flavor pods, then you can't use it because it'll start to leak. So just that, as well as this right here, being able to, flick this up in order to get your flavor, all these things have to continue to work. And although it seems like it's going to last a good amount of time and not be subject to breaking, it just poses that risk, So this might be just a little bit too finicky for some people, but personally, like I said, I dig the aspect of it and flipping this up and getting a little bit more flavor. I like it, but I can also imagine that some people might want something that is simpler. Just put in my flavor and just have a simple mechanism that lets me choose how much I want without having to go through the whole loading process and bringing this down and flipping this up. And you know what I mean? It's not hard to do, but I can't imagine some people not wanting to go through all of that. The other thing is the fact that you have to use 2 of the flavor pods. You have to use them, and you're encouraged to mix and match and come up with your own flavors. And while I do like that as an option, I also wish that there was an option to just use 1 flavor at a time, because maybe you don't want to mix, and that way you can just worry about depleting that one and not have to worry about having a second one on hand that you also have to get through within a week, because otherwise you have to throw it away. So I wish that this was designed so that if you only have 1 pod in here, you can use it just fine without any risk of spilling, but you need to have 2. So a single option would be nice. But as far as how everything tastes, I think that the flavored water tastes good. If you are someone who primarily just drinks bottled juices straight from the store, it's not going to taste like that. I'd like to think of it as if you were drinking like a Coca-Cola versus like a Coke Zero. That is different. The Coke Zero is a little bit better for you, but at the same time, you can taste the fact that it's supposed to be better for you. So if you're coming from just your heavy sugary drinks, then yeah, you're going to like this, but it's not going to be the exact same thing. I think that the flavors are good. I do like it, but it is going to be a difference. It's not like buying a bottle of juice off the shelf. And this is supposed to be just a little bit better for you. So that's the reason why it tastes a little bit different, especially when it comes to the vitamin infused ones. But just basically on the surface, how does it taste? I think that they taste pretty good. So if you're interested in the Selah water bottle, be sure to check out the link in the description. It's going to take you over to the website where you'll have the most up-to-date pricing for this and the bundles, as well as the different flavor pods. And if you tried this before, let us know down in the comments what you thought about it and whether you are using it currently. So that is it for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Till next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you soon.